Hey everyone. Have you ever wondered how to reach more users for your app? Let me tell you how you can build apps that help you reach millions of Outlook users. I'm Sohail. I'm a product manager on Outlook Dev Platform. And let's get started. So I'll give you a brief overview of the platform. Then we'll do a deep dive into a demo that stitches everything together and shows you the platform in action. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Okay? So in case you're wondering why Outlook, Outlook has actually tremendous reach. There are about 100 million enterprise customers, about 500 million Outlook.com customers. The platform is getting mature. We have about 10,000 apps connecting to Microsoft Graph. There are about 300 plus add-ins, about 100 plus connectors available in Office Store. And we have actually a new capability called actionable messages. And so far, about 2.5 million actionable messages have been sent. The platform is currently available on all major Outlook clients. So what is the platform? It has actually, at a high level, three major components. First one is add-ins, which is basically a web app that lets your end users use their favorite app inside Outlook. Contextually, and by contextually mean the app runs in the context of a mail or a calendar, or basically a meeting. Then you have actionable messages, which are small bite-sized tasks that a user, again, can take contextually on a mail. And then you have Microsoft Graph, which all of you know already. So it basically enables your app to access the rich data available in the Office ecosystem. So I'm sure most of you know Graph already, but this is just, again, a very quick overview of the data and the entities that are available through Microsoft Graph, specifically related to Outlook and Mail. So as you can see, your app can access mail, calendar, people, contacts, groups, settings, all kinds of data. Actionable messages. So they allow you to streamline simple tasks. For example, as a user, I can approve an expense report. I can respond to a survey. Or actually, I can even create an opportunity in a CRM system with a single click. For the end user, the, again, big benefit is there is no install. It's very seamless. And also, there's no actually login friction. And we'll talk a little bit later about how this happens as well. And for the developers also, the experience is really simple. All you need to do is include some JSON-like markup in the email body. And the benefit is that the UX is actually native. So when the Outlook client receives the markup, it actually renders it as a native UX. And after that, there's you don't need to worry about UX. And then also, it's secure because no client-side code is run. And then last but not the least is add-ins. So add-ins, think of add-ins as a web app that runs in the context of the Outlook client. And you can build this app using your favorite web technology, but it's basically just HTML and JavaScript, and you can use any framework that you want, such as Angular.js. This web app is actually accompanied by an XML file, which we call the manifest. Manifest is actually, at a high level, defines how your add-in is surfaced to the end user. And secondly, it defines that what permissions your add-in needs. And then it's a write once, run anywhere model. So once you create an add-in, the same add-in runs on Outlook for web, on Outlook desktop, on Outlook for Mac. And the way the add-in gets access to the host, which is in this case is Outlook, is through a JavaScript API, which is called office.js. OK. So there are multiple ways, actually, you can surface your app to the end user in Outlook. You can actually either create an add-in command, which actually shows up as a button in the ribbon for Outlook Desktop. In Outlook for Web, the same actually command shows up as a button in the message level command bar. And then if you want to be even more creative, you can actually decide to surface your add-in when a certain text is detected in the email body. And if you want to provide a very immersive experience, then actually you can build a custom module such as this, so that when a user clicks within Outlook, they're taken to a completely different experience. So now I wanted to spend a little less time on slides and do a bit more of a demo, so that you can see these different components in action and how the platform stitches together, so that you can see how you can take that learnings and implement your own scenarios. And then as we see the platform in action, I will also talk about some new capabilities that we have added, such as single sign-on, and also the ability for the add-in, not only for the user, but also for the delegates and the shared mailboxes that the user has shared. So with that, let's switch to the demo. Did it go through? This is 2, right?
Yeah. So you're trying to switch to yours, right?
Yeah, to mine. All right, perfect. So before we actually start the demo, let me actually give you a quick context. So we are taking a typical scenario in a sales organization where Lydia is where Lydia is a director of sales. She was at a conference last week. She met a prospective client, and then the client seemed interested in their product, and the client has sent Lydia an email that, hey, actually, I'm interested in the product. I want to know more about it. So Lydia, as a sales manager, she sees this opportunity, and now she wants to assign this opportunity to one of her sales executives. Lydia's company uses the Contoso CRM system, and the Contoso CRM system actually has their backend, and they have also developed an add-in, which Lydia has installed already. So Lydia will just go. So Lydia received this email, and it says, hey, it was nice meeting you. So now she wants to create an opportunity based on that. So she clicks the Manage Opportunities add-in, and then she clicks the New Opportunity. And voila, this task pane shows up. Before we go further, actually, I want to call out some things, some magic that actually happened behind the scenes. So notice when Lydia launched this add-in, she wasn't asked for any login prompt or wasn't challenged for credentials. This happened because of the new capability that we added, which is single sign-on. And using this capability, the CRM add-in is able to get the Office 365 identity of Lydia. And then you use this to map this identity to their own identity, which Contoso CRM has. And this identity is exposed as a JavaScript API. Like as I said earlier, the add-in gets access to Office.js API, and this get access token async API is part of Office.js library. And here's the code that's running this under login actions. Basically, the code that ran was that check SSO token login. If I get a valid token, look this SSO token in my database, and if I find Lydia, just let Lydia log in through. Keep in mind that for the first time, in this case, she was just taken directly to the CRM system, because in this case, I have logged once into CRM already. So the Contoso CRM system knows that Lydia's Office identity mapped to this identity in my CRM system. So now let's move forward. Notice actually another thing, that the add-in is actually able to populate the name and description field. This is also through the Office JavaScript API. The add-in was able to use the item property in the library to get the subject and the body of the email. And then using the SSO token that I talked about earlier, the add-in is actually also able to swap this token to get a Graph API token. And again, the magic is that in this case, again, the user is not required to log in again. This token allows the app to get the Graph access token, and then the add-in use the Graph API to get a list of all users in this tenant. And that's how the add-in populated this list. So now let's start fulfilling this. So I'll say Lydia wants to assign this to Ben. The stage for this is qualification, or actually prospecting. We'll set a start date. We will also set an end date that Ben should close it by the 10th, and she can put a prospective amount of the opportunity. She creates this opportunity, and there you go. Now, as she has created this opportunity, a notification was generated and sent to Ben. And this, again, is done through the Graph API. So under the Graph API, since they have the Graph access token already, it just used the Graph API to send the message. But it actually did another thing. It took the opportunity metadata, converted it to an actionable message markup, and inserted that into the body of the email. And this actually shows at a high level the adaptive card markup that was inserted in the mail. So just take a look at this. It's pretty much JSON. And if you want to learn more about it, just go to adaptivecards.io or developer.outlook.com, and you can see all the power that the adaptive cards have. So coming back to this, so now Lydia has created the opportunity. Now let's go to Ben's inbox. So Ben is a sales executive on Lydia's team. Ben is new to the company, so Ben actually does not know which CRM system the company uses. And he will receive this notification from Lydia. Sorry, the internet is slow, but what's going to happen that as the profile loads, and we will see that a notification from Lydia has arrived in the inbox. And then on top of that, actually, you will see the mail itself is not only just plain HTML. It is actually very nicely formatted. So this is the mail that, this is the notification that just Lydia, when she launched the add-in sent to Ben. And see that, actually, the coloring is nice. But this whole thing, this is actually an interactive message card. This is not HTML body. So notice what's going to happen when I click the open opportunity. So this is actually this is an interactive button, and this is a drop-down, and this is an update. And this is all going to happen within the context of Outlook. So I will go and click open opportunity. And again, notice that Ben is new to the company, so he hasn't installed any add-in yet. So Ben goes and clicks open opportunity. And that's when actually the Outlook does a just-in-time installation of the add-in. So we'll say, turn on the add-in. So now it's actually also getting the consent for the add-in. This part actually, because of the internet connection, this part is being a little bit flaky. But if we start it again, this will show the consent dialog that the Ben is supposed to provide. So while this is loading up, once we'll go back to Ben's inbox, you will see that the Manage Opportunities add-in installed in Ben's inbox. And then when Ben launched the add-in, it will take him directly to the opportunity. The task pane will open automatically, and Ben will be taken directly to the opportunity for that particular add-in. And then the way to do that is that there's actually a couple of things that make this magic happen. So we talked about the HTML. This is actually the XML file, which is the manifest that I was talking about earlier. So in this manifest, in order to enable SSO, this is the new stuff that you need to add. So you see this ID. This is Contoso CRM's web apps ID that is created in Azure Active Directory. And then underneath, the resource is for the Contoso CRM app to determine that. So the initial SSO token, when that's generated, this resource is the audience of that token. So that when Contoso CRM backend app receives this token, they can validate that, yes, this token is addressed to me. And then the list of scopes is used to determine that when the graph API, when the graph access token is returned to the add-in, it actually has access for these. It can perform these operations. So let's see. All right. So it's logging me in. The internet has been all kinds of flaky today. But anyway, you'll see that, like, yeah, so it's logged in. And if I click Open Opportunity again, so it launched the add-in. And now it's retrieving the permissions. So anyway, this is actually, so yeah. So this is the consent, the first time consent screen that is shown to the user. And as you saw, like the scopes that I had mentioned in the manifest, they are shown to the user that are you okay, granted these permissions to the add-in. And then keep in mind, this is actually a one-time operation. This is going to happen only the first time when a user is logging in using SSO. So I click continue. Now what's happening, that is actually the add-in is taking these scopes and writing that to the Azure Active Directory app that it had created earlier. So now the Contoso CRM backend app has the permissions to actually make these operations on the user's behalf. But still, there's one step remaining, is that now the user is asked for the username and password. And this is the scenario where Contoso CRM is using something other than Azure Active Directory for their authentication system. If they were using AAD, they wouldn't be seeing this login prompt. So I'll just go and give my ID there. I click login, and there you go. It took me straight to the opportunity that was there, and then Ben can work on this opportunity right from here. Ben can actually add tasks, and he can send updates that I am done with this opportunity, which will send a notification back to Lydia that this happened. So this is actually just showing like how using the power of actionable messages, add-ins, and the Graph API, you can build end-to-end experiences and help simplify the daily workflows for your end users. And then last but not least, just another really quick demo on delegate access. So this is actually also a very frequently asked feature from our partners, that today actually when you have add-ins, they only work on your own mailbox. But there are scenarios, for example, in the similar scenario that we talked earlier, for example, between Lydia and Ben, they say the organization have a shared sales folder, and you want the add-in to work on the shared sales folder as well. So we actually have added support for that, so that now actually add-ins not only work for the actual folder, but also for the shared folder as well. So while this loads actually, let's really quick. So this is actually, we'll just show you. It's OK. My apologies, actually, it's going wonky. But at a high level, this is just basically how the shared folder will work, that it's actually an add-in that gives you another API to request the shared properties so that your add-in can know which is it working in a shared mailbox or a regular mailbox. So with that, basically, that concludes the demo. So any questions? Sure? Mm-hmm. Got it. So the question is that, let me repeat it so that you can tell me if the question is right. So I think what you're asking, that would the app still work if the Azure Active Directory app is a V1 app? So the short answer is that in order for SSO to work, the app actually needs to be a V2 app. So you will actually have to create another V2 app, but it will actually simplify the flow significantly. Sure. Any other questions? Huh? OK, cool. All right, thank you, everyone.